Hello, welcome to Piano Unlimited. This is PianoTurtle. Today we're going to explore another perceived limitation. Have you ever found playing with both hands challenging? Do you ever feel uncoordinated, unbalanced? Are you not a multitasker? Is playing with two hands multitasking? Share your thoughts in the comments if you identify with any of these limitations. So, here's another unlimited mindset. We are born coordinated. As a baby learns to walk, they put out a tremendous amount of effort, but not once will they complain about being uncoordinated. They're not aware like adults. Well, let's get right into it. Setting a firm foundation is the key to long-lasting success, keyword being long-lasting. If you ever find playing with two hands challenging, stop and ask, where did these thoughts come from? Could it have been that you started playing hands separate first because you were told to do so? Learn one way and weeks, if not months, later add in the other hand just to find it very challenging. Just take a look at children, adults, pets, animals, birds, anything that moves. When do they ever do anything hands or feet separated? We are naturally coordinated, and I encourage us to love the fact that we are. In today's tutorial, you will be playing with both hands, and it will feel natural to you. If it does not, it is because it's new and unfamiliar, not unnatural. There is a difference. Again, this method of playing hands together is for beginners, but I may teach it differently to younger students. 3 things you need to know. Number 1, the numbers 1 through 5. Number 2, you need to know how to clap or tap in time evenly, like this. Number 3, you need to know how to wiggle your fingers on both of your hands. Let's now see how the 3 things work together to reveal how you can indeed play with both hands, a popular piece that is in some methods the last piece of a first year book. Drill number 1. I will show you drill number 1 by telling you a story. I had an elderly friend. He was not well and was in the hospital. When he recovered and was about to be released, I shared about me teaching a child to play a well-known song in the first 20 minutes in her first lesson. We got to talk a little bit, but somewhere in the conversation, my friend said that he does not have a single music bone in his body. So I told him, "Don't you say that to me, Chuck. You can't say that to a piano teacher." He says, "I think I know myself well enough." When we got to the lobby of the hospital, there was a beautiful white piano. I said to him, "Chuck, if I cannot get you to play both hands on that piano, a popular song within 10 minutes, I will buy you lunch." To that he said, "Well, I ain't gonna turn down a free lunch." I asked him not to be a schemer and deliberately sabotage and fail the challenge. I asked him to do his best. His reply was, "Who do you think I am? Of course I'm not gonna sabotage anything." I gave Chuck 2 thumbs up and asked him to do the same, and he did. I asked him to give his illness the finger, and he did, enthusiastically, with both hands. Next, I asked him, if your thumb is the number 1, what number is your middle finger? He said 3. It took him a second, not more, not less. I asked him about his pinky just to show my patience. He stuck that out too. Then I asked him to lay out his hand and at my command, wiggle the fingers I called out. He never asked me if he should do a hand separately by then. Then I asked him to clap evenly. He did. I proceeded to call out numbers, random, between 1 through 5, and he did them all. He did not make the mistake because I told him to take his time, and after a few tries, I asked him to do it with his eyes closed. Seeing success, I showed him to the piano. By the way, you, the audience, can follow along with this. Whatever Chuck is doing, you can do too. I placed his hands on the piano. His thumb is on the high C, and his pinky is on the middle C. But he doesn't know that. And nor do you need to know that. I asked him to align his finger to each key, and I told him to never get out of that position. Stick to it like glue. I asked him to close his eyes, and there's a good reason. I started calling out numbers and requested that he press down the key and go at the speed of his mind. Some of his fingers collapsed, but that is okay. He's only a beginner. Going at the speed of your mind is what slow practice really is. At first, I called out random notes. After some success, without him knowing, I started calling out a set of choreographed numbers along with rests. I used the word rest. With his eyes closed, he was not aware that I had written down those numbers on a piece of paper borrowed from the hospital's front desk. The choreographed numbers were 333, 333, 35123, 444, rest, 433, rest, 32232, 2, rest, 5, rest. Then I called out the numbers and waited for Chuck to play them. 333. He played 333. 333. 333. 35. 123. 444. 433. 3 2 2 3 2, 5, comma. He did that. Then, seeing success, I reduced my teaching from the obvious to slightly more challenging, but he was not aware of it. I said him 3, do it again and again. Now repeat all that. 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. Wait for me, I told him. Now go 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 5, 5, 4, 2, 1. Now we did it really slowly, and it really did not sound like the piece because a few mistakes was made and he was so focused on getting it right, he forgot to listen. But I can tell Chuck was aware of it because he let out a few and a wait a minute. Since he did not have any choice but to follow my mind, my speed, my patience, he was successful. There was a few mistakes, but not many, and it did not surprise me one bit that he auto-corrected himself. About 5 minutes passed. We did it really slow. During round 2, I told him I will call out a group of fingers faster, but he will press them in a timely manner, slowly, just like clapping. He was also asked to call out the numbers while he pressed. And when he was doing that, I joined him. 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3. 3, 5, 1. Aha! Chuck bursted out. Jingle bells! Followed by uncontrollable laughter. I laughed with him. Laughter. It's contagious. The other friends were watching and they giggled too. I waited for him to collect himself. He did, and we started over. 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3. 3, 5. 1, 2, 3. Wait, wait, wait. I must point out that his rhythm got much better because he knew Jingle Bells by ear. I didn't have to teach anything on rhythm. 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 5. And then I said something unexpected. I said, Chuck, repeat the beginning. He actually did it. 3, 3, 3, he said. 3, 3, 3. Keep going, I said. He said, I did not say a word. His hand shook a bit. He said, I don't remember. But then he did it. He pressed 3 and then 4, and it shocked him. Aha, I said to myself. Memory has been created. And when I was thinking that, just as I was thinking that, he auto-corrected the 4 to a 5, and then he said, oh man, I messed that up. Messed wasn't the word he used. Notice I was habitually seeing the gain while he habitually see the loss. He criticized himself. I replied to him, Chuck, you auto-corrected without my help. That is progress. It was then he smiled. I told him not to interrupt himself. He nodded. We started right where we left off. 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. He listened to my accompaniment. 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 5, 5, 4, 2, 1. When we were done, he was smiling. Wow, he said. I can't believe I just did that. I told him to open his eyes. I showed him the paper. He saw the numbers. I asked him, how about a round completely on your own? I assume you know how to read the numbers with the commas. He said, sure. It sounded something like this. I had changed my accompaniment. We did it a few more times, and Chuck lost track of time. Each time my accompaniment got just a little faster, and Chuck followed. I assumed he had reflexes, and his mind had created new memories. And because it's more comfortable, I felt comfortable speeding up. At the end of our experiment, Chuck said, "Lunch is on me!" It was a happy day indeed. Let me know if you followed along and was successful. If not, feel free to just repeat that little drill. The only thing I regret is not being able to be there with you. It would have been a pleasure for me. Now, for extra credit, here comes drill 2. You may say that, oh, what about matching different fingers? You know what? I've heard it all the limitations, this trouble, that trouble. But first, let's explore another simple thought process, and that is direction and imitation. Don't think about matching 5 with a 1 or a 2 with a 4. You know, different numbers with different fingers. That's thinking too much. Instead, think left to right and back. Whatever the left hand or the right hand is doing, copy with the other hand. For example, start with the finger 1, and since it's to the left, you copy with the leftmost finger on the other hand. In this case, it's 5. And then just go up one by one. Copy with the other hand. Go up, come back down. Left to right, and then back to left. What Chuck did was called contrary motion. I had heard from students that that is difficult, but I don't think Chuck was aware that it was more difficult. What we're doing now is called parallel motion. Don't think anything else besides direction and imitation, and you will keep your mind focused on what can be done rather than what is challenging. Take it easy. Do it slow according to the speed of your mind. Randomize when comfortable. Choose one of your hands as the leader. Think a number and then copy it with the other hand, not with the same number, but with the direction. Second finger to the left in the left hand is 4. Match it with the second finger to the right, which is a 2. Comment below if you were able to get the extra credit. Now, Jingle Bells can sound like this. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 3, skip up to 5, go all the way down to 1, and then up, up. On and on. Notice my directions are now different. It's not about numbers, but is with directions included. That leads to Hanon, by the way. That's it for drill 2. If you were able to match your fingers based on direction rather than based on numbers, you are successful. Drill number 3. In some ways, this drill may actually be easier. Use 2 chords in the left hand and play the rest hands separate, kind of. The numbers for the 2 chords are these. First chord is 5, 3, 1. Second chord is 4, 2, 1. Press those numbers down on the keys C, E, and G at the same time and get comfortable, and then do 4, 2, 1. Do a few memory tests. You will not need to think what the notes are for the second chord. Get comfortable, create the memories. Do a few memory tests. Now follow along here. I will place chord 1 or chord 2 directly underneath the specific note of the melody pattern, and when you see it, play hands together and then hold the left hand while you play and think the right hand separate. The majority of this exercise is actually hands separate, even though you're using both hands. Ask yourself, is it easier once the chord is memorized, or is it harder? Here's what it sounds like at a reasonable tempo. Congratulations! You have unlimited to playing with both hands, and now you can learn to strategically choose to practice hands separate. Most of the time, playing hands together help, not distract. I absolutely do not recommend playing hands separate just because it is a thing to do, or it's part of a routine. That is legalistic, not strategic. The only time I personally practice hands separate is when there are multiple voices going on. Polyphony, contrapuntal, canonic, fugal. But that is not a beginner tutorial. That day, Chuck rewarded me with a lunch. It was not free. I like to think I earned it. What did you do to reward yourself? Was the music its own reward? Comment below, let me know. A few important perspectives. This saves time and money. It's also about thinking the big picture. Look at this example. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. Is this hands together or separate? I would say it's separate. Just because you're using 2 hands doesn't mean it is a coordinated event. The hands took turns. It did not train coordination in your mind, but rather it trained choice. Is it easier or harder? Well, I would say it's harder because it takes more effort to think about when to switch to the other hand by choice and by how many notes than it is to play with one hand and maybe shifting a finger to a different position or two. Remember, let's learn naturally. You work just as hard but with less results, because when you finally play hands together, your mind may complain, even if it's just a little bit. How does it save money? Like I said earlier, Jingle Bells is the last piece of this first year book. You see here, this is the last page. You get a nice little certificate. I have not met a single student who thought to learn this entire book in 1 week, or better yet, unlimited to 1 day conceptually. Even though with the proper guidance, it can be. Some say it depends on age, but I would like to ask, how young do you have to be to get this done? Not how old. It makes the student feel more accomplished. Do the math. 25 to 50 lessons later, you get Jingle Bell. Not to mention, lessons can be forgotten during the week, but the bill will not. Paying for repeated lesson is a very common thing. Reading a few notes, learning about some basic rhythm, and 365 days is already gone. How much would it cost to get Jingle Bells? The entire book have less than 50 notes to read. Of course, there are more to be taught in the book, but reading notes and playing hands together should be the least of your problems. As with any method, there are limitations. In this case of playing hands together first, you may not enjoy or even want to play hands separate after this. And that can cause a lack of care when practicing more complicated pieces. It may also cause a lack of patience when practicing hands separately. I speak for myself, but in my defense, practicing hands together slowly, following the speed of my mind, is faster than playing hands separately twice at whatever speed. My final thought is, you don't have to be aware of such unlimiting activities, such as looking at advanced music, or playing with hands together, or listening to music, or learn to read all clefs. Just let it happen. Let it unlimit your mind. Thanks for watching.